What if the voice the world would one day worship was once almost silenced forever? Before stadiums echoed his name, before crowds answered every note, before Freddie Mercury became undeniable, there was hesitation and there was doubt. Finding his voice was not instant, it was earned. Freddie didn't wake up powerful. He built power slowly, piece by piece. In the early days, his voice was still searching for shape. Strong, yes, but unsure of its limits. He sang quietly when others weren't listening, tested ranges alone, pushed notes, then pulled back. Because confidence does not arrive fully formed, it grows through risk. And risk scared him. He admired bold performers, those who owned the room without apology, those who didn't shrink. But admiration came with questions. Could he do that? Could he stand exposed? Could he fail publicly? Music became the testing ground. He joined small bands, played in cramped rooms, performed for distracted audiences. Sometimes they listened, sometimes they didn't. Each reaction taught him something. What held attention, what fell flat, what felt honest. Freddie paid attention to everything. He experimented with tone, with timing, with silence. He realized something important. A voice is not just sound, it is intention, and intention could be learned. He stopped trying to sound like others, stopped chasing trends. Instead, he leaned into difference. His wide vocal range became an advantage. His theatrical instincts became tools. His sense of drama became identity. Still, fear remained. Singing meant revealing himself, and he had spent years hiding. So he created a bridge: performance. On stage, he allowed himself to be louder than life, bigger than fear, more confident than he felt inside. That contrast created magic. Audiences felt it instantly, even before they understood why. Freddie wasn't just singing notes, he was communicating desire, defiance, longing. Every song carried emotion sharpened by restraint. He studied great vocalists carefully, not to copy, but to understand control. When to push, when to hold, when to break the rules. His voice began to stretch, higher, lower, wilder. He realized it could do more than follow melody, it could command. That realization changed everything. The microphone became an extension of his body. The stage became a conversation. He learned how to pause, how to let anticipation build, how to make silence louder than sound. Finding his voice also meant finding courage. Courage to stand still, courage to move freely, courage to let emotion show. Sometimes his voice cracked, sometimes it soared. Both mattered, because authenticity carries power. As Queen began to form, something clicked. This was space. This was freedom. The band didn't ask him to shrink. They encouraged expansion. His voice became central, not because it demanded attention, but because it earned it. Songs grew more ambitious, arrangements more daring. Freddie pushed boundaries relentlessly. He layered harmonies, stacked vocals, turned the studio into an instrument. His voice multiplied. Not just one Freddie, but many. Each layer carried emotion, confidence, drama. Yet behind the innovation was discipline. Hours of practice, repetition, refinement. Finding his voice wasn't luck, it was obsession. He treated every performance as an experiment, every crowd as feedback. If something worked, he remembered it. If it didn't, he adjusted. Over time, fear lost its grip. Not because it disappeared, but because his voice grew stronger than it. On stage, he no longer asked permission. He declared presence, and the audience followed. They felt invited, challenged, connected. His voice crossed boundaries, gender, culture, expectation. It didn't fit categories, and that was the point. Freddie Mercury wasn't trying to be perfect. He was trying to be undeniable. The voice that once hesitated now commanded silence. The boy who observed quietly now led thousands with a single note. But even at his most confident, he never forgot where it started. That awareness kept his voice grounded, human, vulnerable, which made it powerful. Finding his voice didn't end the struggle, it transformed it. The fear didn't vanish, it became fuel. And soon the world would realize something. This wasn't just a singer, this was a force. Still, the journey wasn't over. Because finding your voice is one thing, using it to change the world is another. And Freddie Mercury was just getting started. The question was no longer, could he be heard? It was this: what would happen now that he refused to be ignored?